Hi Pisces, welcome to 2023. I hope you're all well. We talked about a tower moment not a long time ago, and it could be happening. 2023, like we saw in the last reading, is going to bring a lot of miracles, a lot of new, perhaps the new life you dreamt of is going to come to fruition, but it's not going to be like everything is perfect, right? It's actually going to come with not being comfortable. So it's all going to be about your courage. How much courage do you have? How much are you able to step out of your old ways, of old situations perhaps as well? Do you have the courage to step out? Do you have enough strength within you? Have you built up in this year of 2022 that we just passed enough resilience and deepening so that now you can flow better through obstacles, through challenges, through fears, because they're going to come up. It's an unfolding process, right? So we are going to be challenged, we're going to be triggered in relationships, whether you're on a twin flame journey or not, a soulmate or whichever. Any relationships, friendships, partnerships, business partnerships, but also your own self, your own sense of inner worth, and how much faith have you built up to the divine, to beyond yourself? How much are you able to go beyond yourself? And you need to be able to be so anchored that you're able to continue on a clear path without knowing where you're going. So it's the unknown. And that demands a lot of strength, but also a lot of clarity. Only when you are truly here can you be flexible. So it's funny because you need to be so anchored to not be rigid, right? Because the rigidity comes from feeling vulnerable. You know, when we are attached to certain people, certain things, we want to get back to the familiar, the comfortable. But right now, we are asked to step to the new, truly. It's like we're being pushed, and it's going to feel, it's not going to feel pretty. You know, a lot of stuff is going to come up. I can't do this, I can't do that, but perhaps this was your intention, perhaps that's your dreams, perhaps that's the miracle you've been striving for. But you need to now, to accept that, to accept the miracle in your life, you need to be able to go through a transitional process that might feel overwhelming, that might feel stressful, and still continue on the path with faith. Okay, so here your major arcana that came through is the Hierophant, number 5. We talked about 2023 being number 7, 223, but here we have 2-3, 23 is 5. It's also about your independence, your freedom, your inner freedom, and that has to do with also commitment, right? But also the old ways versus the new ways. But most of all, to me, the Hierophant has to do with spiritual growth. And that's where we are asked to go. We're asked to expand our ways, our consciousness, our mind, and trust into the unknown. Trust that everything that comes into our lives happens for a reason. You did have here the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So whatever unexpected event happens, tower moments, whatever, they are all here to teach you something. So what is interesting here is that in my spread, I have 2 different decks, and they're really talking to each other in a very synchronistic way. In the middle here, I'm seeing awareness and the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, in 2 different decks. So you have the crown chakra that came twice. That is very significant. That has to do with how we're stepping through and up. And talking about love, you have here spiritual union and door to romance. By the way, number 33 and 22, very significant today. So door to romance and spiritual union. The right person is going to come your way. Perhaps you already know this person, or it's going to come, but this might not look like, you know, your idea of it, right? So it might be coming with challenges, and we need to see how perseverant we are with those lessons that are going to come through with this union. Or perhaps you're already going through that. But truly, you're going to have to recognize if you are in a toxic relationship, or if the challenges that are coming through are worth staying and looking at yourself. So basically, we need to be looking at ourselves internally and connect with higher than ourselves, so that we don't do anything this year from the ego perspective, from the limited point of view of how we were before. We need to shift. Okay, there's a definite shifting. We can't be, if we were used to be controlling everything, grasping everything, it's no longer possible. Now we need to let go completely and just go for it. Take action. You have here, take action and play. Play has to do with your creativity, and it comes only when you are inspired. The inspired action comes not from your ego, but from the divine through you. And it's not easy, you know. Sometimes you might be feeling like, you know, your old ways come back, you know, like you're always going to be getting out, coming back in, coming out, coming back in, until you're going to be at a plateau where, yeah, I'm done, I'm over, and I'm just in this new direction. I'm not slipping back from it. And you will see this here, and more, there's going to be a shift for some people where they're going to truly arrive to a certain plateau. It's not perfect. There's always going to be challenges and, you know, lessons that will be coming through, and practice that will need to be continuous. But there will be a definite shift for the people that actually have stepped up, and the ones that can't. Okay, and there's no judgment there. There's a lot of compassion needed. But there is a point where you find that it's only about you, really, and not in an egoistic way, but it's about your internal work, and it's not about another person. Here you have no one is yours but you. No one is yours but you. Realizing the lonely journey of the priestess, or the priest if you're a man. So here we are definitely asked to go upon our service, the high heart. You have here number 22, the high heart, and it came with dependency here. So very, you know, opposite cards. And it has to do with, you know, perhaps we had those issues of attachment, you know, sacral chakra, abandonment issues, all of those things that were perhaps hindering our personal power. But here you might find that suddenly this chain is broken, and that you understand that the higher heart, because you have shifted up, has to do with your service, with giving this love, this divine love to others. Yeah, it won't be given to you. You can't be waiting for that. A lot of other people are not awakened perhaps as much as you are, and are more closed off. They don't have so much empathy. They are more selfish. But someone who is selfish is just someone who is suffering. So again, if you see around you, and you might be seeing that more and more, Pisces, where you're really seeing that a lot of people you thought were friends or partners or whatever are really truly more selfish than ever. And they really just are focused on their own thing, and they really don't recognize more than themselves. But you're different. You don't have to be like them. You can radiate that divine love. Perhaps you were born for that. You were born to give that love and receive the love of the divine, not from others, not expecting anybody else. There's only the divine, and you being in that service. So you are stepping up. You are only in the love of the divine, and that's the only thing that you give, right? So we are no longer in the old framework of relationships here. We're talking about spiritual union, okay? Whatever form that might take. It could be romantic, friends, you know, there's so many different ways it could come up. But here it's evident that we're no longer, we are being put into our power. And this power is because we bathe only in that divine love. And that's our power. We're no longer waiting for any human to give us that love, because we are responsible to give that love. So then we are with God and we give that love. It's just a continuous process where you're in the spiral of the divine, of the divine, of the higher heart, of the higher heart. You're just up there and you don't move from there. Yeah, you'll have triggers with your heart, with your emotions, but this is your strength, this is your power, and this is the expansion of this year for you. And that's what you will be manifesting, magician in the mirror. Okay, so that can cause twin flame as well, but look at yourself, what you're manifesting. The external, again, will be a manifestation of your internal world, Pisces. Now, if sometimes you get into anxiety, and I have been feeling that, there are some weird emotions that are coming through, and I really feel that is because the more we step through and up, the more we're about to get to the plateau, the more there's this emotional garbage and, all of those mucky stuff that come at the surface. There are perhaps more triggers, more tower moments in relationships or not. And internally, you might feel anxious, anxiety coming through, but here you have patience and planning. Again, this patience card is coming through. Be patient and stay in the light in the midst of the drama. You have hostilities and light. You stay in this divine light, in this divine love. Nothing can touch you there. Yeah, you will feel all of it. You will go through all of it because of that power, because you're here. This is the ego. This is not bad. It's just your survival mode, your traumas, your memories, all of that. But this can be turned around, because if you are here, you're creating karma, right? But you can step out of it higher and just bathe in that divine light we talked about and stay there. If you stay there, you can go through this year with much success and many miracles available for you. But you need to stay there, and it's not easy, right? But it is a practice. When you fall, you come back. Fall, you come back. This is the only way you can get through this. Okay? That will be your firm foundation and where you will find victory. This is where we have the root chakra. This is the mountain we're building, right? But to building that we are going up, right? But to go up this mountain, the only way to keep the perseverance, keep the patience with ourselves, with others, and all of that, like a good Capricorn energy, and we're still in Capricorn, right? The only way to be victorious is to be rooted in what we just talked about, this higher realm, which is you too. It's a divine within you, where there's no karma, where you're just light. And that is what the heaven on earth we talked about. This is what you want to manifest, so then you just stay there. This is the new you, right? You let everything else go and you just stay there and see what happens. Have faith. Stay there. That gives you the power. Third chakra, Archangel Chamuel. This is your sensual sun. This is the confidence within you. Whatever you're asked to do, step into a crowd, speak in front of many people. Perhaps you always like to be alone in your little space. No, you're asked here to shine, to get out there. And so there'll be movement, choices, decisions, okay? But don't be afraid of it. Don't get back into this worst case scenario thing. Perhaps you're really getting into the best life right now, your dream. And you need to trust that it's all going to be beautiful, but you need to not get into this worst case scenario, the anxiety, right? The negative thinking. You are perhaps at the verge of stepping into your dream life. Now allow yourself that. Don't drown into the other, okay? The best is to come. Stay there. Let all of it go. The rest go. You're here. Now, this positive movement forward, yin and yang, positive movement forward. So that's what we were seeing. We are only going towards the light here. And we're going towards our balance. 22 is coming through again, yin and yang. This is a twin flame card as well. Balancing the masculine and feminine energy within us. You know, Pisces, if you've been very used to, and I personally have been very used to having my silence, my solitude, and having a lot of time, sometimes hours, to just be and meditate, but also doing many, many things. And now many more things are surging up, right? And there's fear that comes through. There's, you know, but it's funny because now it's asking to not be so much in the receiving, is taking all of those hours of meditation and silence that is anchored in me so that I can bring it up to the world. I can bring it up to the noise, right? But not become the noise, bring the silence to the noise. You're going to bring the silence to the noise. You're going to bring, because there's so much stillness, more action, right? So it's this new way of being, this feminine getting into the masculine, the action, but we're getting into the masculine from the feminine, right? So we're getting into this action because we're still and we remain here more than ever. Because we're going to be in more noise, we need to be even more anchored here, right? Because we're going to be doing even more things physically, perhaps, we need to be, you know, in action. We need to be even more in the non-action. So it's a paradox, but that is why we need to be so anchored, and even more so now than ever. Okay? Balance is coming through so strongly. We have balance again here, balance again here. So it's all about how you are internally. Balance means that, what does it mean when we are in balance? In balance is when we are out of center. Again, the balance is when you are aligned, when you're here. If not, you can't do anything. It's being in the world, but not of it. You're going to see if then you get, you know, you're going to be triggered because there's more to do in the world. You cannot get out of being out of it. You need to stay out of it so that you can be in it. Again, this paradox. So we need more than ever to be here. Okay? And that's also speaking your truth. When you're aligned, you're your truth. Nothing can derail you. You can't stay in an abusive relationship. You can't, if people are lying to you, no, the truth will come up because you're here. It's just very easy. There's no fear of being betrayed or things like that because there's only the profound love and truth that is here. So then that's maturity. That's the Hierophant. That's the truth. The truth is always the truth and always comes up, right? So nobody can lie to you. Nobody can do messy, confusing things to you, you know, with the moon energy, the illusion. No, there's clarity. Because if you are just only truth and love, this is who you are. So this is what you will bring to you and the rest will fall away. Okay, so there's nothing to be anxious about. That's very important. Okay, and then you have take a break. Life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Yeah, we still have, I would say, like a few weeks before, you know, the like 18th of January until like the end of January, things are going to start really moving, and definitely by March. So we still have this Mars in retrograde in Gemini. Take it easy, you know, because still perhaps you're in this transition this month of January where you're like, wow, like getting used to this new activity, new way of life, you know, new things to do, new people, things like that. There's to take a break, you know, even if you're very inspired is good. But again, this balance. You need to not get attached to what you're doing, even though it's something you love. That's another thing. You know, we can get attached to a creation or something and get judgmental then and get back into the old spiral. So to keep the balance means that, yeah, you get involved, you do more things, but it doesn't give you more neurosis. You keep even calmer, right? So to do more things, we need to be even more here. To create and manifest new things and more, we can't get attached to them. We need to be here. So the balance. If you couldn't do everything you wanted to do today, it's okay. Here, you know, it will be taken care of the next day, right? So there's like this true balance, this inner calm that needs to be ever present, okay? and not get obsessed by, you know, whatever you need to do, and then get into the fear, you know, like all, again, the spiral downward. Here, here, here. Okay? And then you got Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. You are laying the foundations right now for the next years to come. So the foundation that you're laying all depends on you. It's your choice. We talked about that. If you lay your foundation in the light, this is what you will manifest. And it will be the divine plan, the miracle, the heaven on earth. This is what you need to focus on, so that you don't repeat the past. No, you're just here. Just here, just here, just here. And be open. Be open to new ways, new circumstances, new people to come into your life. It's your dream life that is about to happen, okay? Remember that. It happens to you, for you. It's happening for you, not to you. You're being cracked open. Okay? Not easy transition, I would say right now. But we'll make it through. I love you, Pisces. I hope this was helpful. And I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.